Okay, so are you ready to dive into something kind of different today? We're going to be looking at medium.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but not just the whole spooky crime solving thing.
Okay.
It's more than that.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be talking about what makes the show tick.
Interesting.
So think family dynamics,
Okay.
the real life person behind it all, Allison DuBois.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're going to bring a little skepticism to the table too.
Mm,
Got to keep it real.
I like it. Sounds like a plan.
hmm
So, to get us started, set the scene. What is it about Medium that grabbed your attention?
Okay, so honestly, the title, right? I mean, come on.
It's intriguing.
Medium, it just draws you in.
It does.
It makes you wonder what if. But here's the thing, it's not all just spooky stuff, right? What really hooked me was how Medium balanced the whole crime solving thing with this really relatable family drama.
That's so true. And it's something we see a lot, right? That blend of the ordinary and the extraordinary. Like, how does a family even begin to process having a mom who talks to dead people?
Exactly. It's how do you even wrap your head around that? And the show does an amazing job of finding humor in those everyday situations.
It does.
TV Tropes talks about this trope called the deadpan snarker, and they use Joe, the husband, as a prime example.
Oh, yeah. He's hilarious.
I know. His reactions to Allison's visions just kill me. They're pure comedy gold.
Oh, absolutely. Do you remember that line he had about their retirement fund? I think it was something like
Oh, yeah, yeah.
well, there goes the 401k. Looks like we'll be working until we're dead. Which, knowing this family, might mean still talking to each other anyway.
Oh my gosh, that's so See, that's what I love. Those moments just ground the show. Even when things get super weird and paranormal, it reminds you these are real people with real problems.
Exactly. And it's not just the parents, right?
Right.
The daughters, Bridget and Ariel, they have that classic sibling rivalry going on, but with this added layer of psychic abilities. It just adds this whole other dimension to their arguments and jealousies. And it's hilarious, but also kind of relatable.
Totally. Imagine fighting with your sister about borrowing her clothes, but then she's all like, oh yeah, and by the way, the ghost in our closet agrees with me.
I can't even imagine. And that's what makes me wonder behind the scenes, did any of that come from the real DuBois family? Did the writers tap into some real-life awkwardness?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And that leads us perfectly to the elephant, or should we say the skeptic in the room. This article we found, it really dives headfirst into the whole debate about Allison DuBois and whether her psychic abilities are legit.
Yeah, they don't hold back. It's pretty clear they're skeptical.
Okay, but here's the thing. I kind of like that we've got these contrasting viewpoints,
It definitely makes things interesting.
It's on one hand, you've got medium Allison, the one who's solving crimes, talking to dead people, and seems so sure of herself.
Right.
And then on the other hand, we have the real-life Allison.
And the evidence there is, well, it's not quite as clear-cut.
Exactly. And that's what makes this whole thing so fascinating to me. It's trying to separate fact from fiction. How much of the show is based on her real life and how much is just creative license?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, how much can we really trust what we see on screen?
This article actually goes into some specific cases where DuBois made predictions that turned out to be wrong.
Oh, really?
One that really stuck with me was this case with a missing baby.
Oh, that's awful.
I know, heartbreaking. And according to the article, her visions about the case, they didn't lead anywhere.
I mean, it makes you wonder, if someone truly believed they had these abilities, wouldn't they be more cautious, especially in such a sensitive situation?
Exactly. You'd think so, right. And that's what this article really makes you question, how reliable are these feelings as evidence, especially when the stakes are so high?
Right. It's not about saying psychic abilities are impossible. But when it comes to something as serious as a missing person,
Yeah.
you'd hope there'd be more to go on than just a feeling.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of questioning things, remember DuBois' appearance on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills?
Oh, yeah. How could I forget?
The whole dinner party meltdown.
It was epic,
Yeah.
but also kind of strange when you think about it.
Right. It's this is someone who claims to have this incredible intuition, who can tap into people's deepest thoughts and emotions.
Yeah.
But then she's on reality TV getting caught up in all the drama. It just felt off.
It's like watching two completely different people. On one hand, you have this composed, insightful medium persona, and then you have, well, that.
It really makes you wonder what was going on behind the scenes. Was she playing it up for the cameras? Or was that a glimpse of the real Allison?
Right. Like, how much of ourselves do we present to the world versus who we really are? It gets complicated.
It really does. So we've got this show, Medium, which was a huge hit, ran for 7 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And it's based on the life of this woman who's incredibly controversial.
Yeah.
And there are so many unanswered questions. Like, what was it about Medium that resonated with so many people despite all the skepticism?
It's interesting, isn't it? Because even with the skepticism, there's something about Medium that just draws you in.
It does. And I think
Yeah.
a big part of it is that human connection.
Yeah.
Like, deep down, I think we all kind of hope there's something more out there.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm.
And the show, it kind of gives you that. It says, hey, maybe we're not alone in facing the unknown.
And it doesn't shy away from the tough stuff either.
Yeah.
Like the show tackles loss and grief head on.
Right. And all those doubts that come with trying to balance, a family and responsibility with this extraordinary gift.
Exactly. But it always brings it back to that core theme of love and family.
It does. It's like, yeah, the paranormal stuff is cool, but it's really the characters and their relationships that make you care.
Exactly. And Patricia Arquette, she's phenomenal as Allison.
She's amazing. She totally deserved that Emmy. Like, she brought such a realness to the role, You felt every emotion.
Oh, absolutely. And the writing, the directing, everything just came together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even Wikipedia mentions how many awards the show got.
It's true. This wasn't just some cheesy supernatural show. It was quality storytelling. Mm-hmm.
And speaking of storytelling, that series finale,
Oh.
talk about bittersweet.
Oh, yeah.
I was reading this New York Times article, and they described it as narratively challenged but emotionally satisfying.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
I know. Right,
Yeah.
because you knew what was coming. Right, with Joe.
Yeah, the foreshadowing was definitely there.
But to actually see it play out, to see Allison trying to cope with his death, knowing that she can still communicate with him, but choosing to let go.
It was tough to watch, but also really powerful.
It was. And kind of a bold move for the show to end that way. But it felt real,
It did, and I think that's what makes Medium so special. Even though it's about the paranormal, it never loses sight of what makes us human.
So well said. After diving deep into all of this, I'm curious, what are you left thinking? It makes you think,
Right.
Like, if you had the ability to talk to those who've passed, would you?
It's a big question.
It is. I mean, would it bring comfort or just complicate things?
Right. Like, could you ever really say goodbye?
Exactly.
It's those kinds of questions that Medium really makes you grapple with, and they stick with you long after the episode's over.
They really do. It's the mark of a good story, right? The ones that stay with you.
They really are. So to everyone listening, we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on Medium? Did this deep dive change your perspective on the show or on the whole idea of psychic abilities? Let's keep the conversation going. Until next time.